Good evening and welcome to the Social Newsroom episode on Death on Arrival. And the focus today is what happened to Parliament and what can be done to bring it back to life. We have four panelists this evening, and one of them we're waiting on to come, and that is Busia Senator Okiya Omtata, as well as known mostly for his activism and being the public litigator and defender of the people, number one. We also have Jerry Mwangi, and this always happens every week. I always forget to put it down. We have Jerry Mwangi, who is the co-founder of Power 254 as well as an activist. And Power 254, in case you live under a cave and don't know what they are, a non-profit initiative in Kenya's unique art and cultural collaborative hub that houses, fosters and catalyzes creative and community-driven projects for social change. We also have Nerima Wako, CEO. And this is an organization that believes in the active participation of ordinary citizens, beg your pardon, in an inclusive platform for young people willing to voice their concerns and ideas, and if needed, to lead and in educating people on the functions and the processes of government and responsibility of the voters in holding the government to account. We also have Eric Theuri, the chair of the Law Society of Kenya, which is Kenya's premier bar association with membership of all practicing advocates that hold a common vision to promote quality and robust legal practice and the rule of law. LSK with a membership at least over 20,000 and growing. And so we have the chairperson here, and given the topic of the day, you understand why we've invited them. And we also have some in the audience who will be giving their questions. We have a live audience online, and we would ask you to also throw in your questions. We appreciate Esther Nyonje, who asked about 30 minutes ago if we're still on. Yes, we are. We apologize for starting late, and we encourage you to interact with us online on the chat section on our YouTube stream, live stream. And first things first, before we talk about Parliament and all things Parliament and everything that's gone wrong, the 13th Parliament, I don't know if it's a coincidence because it's number 13, but on Sunday in Embu, the Trade Cabinet Secretary Moses Kuria had some not so nice things to say about the Nation Media Group, and he actually called them an opposition party and asked them to decide whether they are a media group or an opposition party based on the reportage that has been going on over the last few weeks. And that is blowing the lid and lifting the lid on some scandals. And he made a roadside declaration directing government agencies to stop advertising with the Nation Media Group. And if they do, then they would be sacked. Let's listen in.
Nation Media, muamue kama nyinyi ni gazeti, ama broadcasting house, ama media house, ama ni chama cha upinzani. Na mimi nimesema kutoka leo hata sio kesho, idara yote ya serikali nitaona imeweka advertisement kwa Nation Media, ujihesabu kwa nyumbani.
Kuria was seemingly responding to an expose by NMG over the weekend exposing an oil scandal, edible oils, allegedly orchestrated by his ministry, and that is why he was quite upset. 11:08 p.m. last night on Sunday, he tweeted, kwa wale malaya wa Aga Khan pale Nation Center, you can still advertise auctioneers and funeral announcements. We will not stop those. And soon after, of course, this morning, mid-morning and into the afternoon, we had at least 5 statements that were sent out by the Media Council, the Kenya Editors Association, as well as a Nation Media Group. And I'd like to just make reference to the one by the Media Council of Kenya. And in their statement, they said, "Sober up, you have become a national shame." It starts with that. And at the very end, Eric Odworo, Secretary General of the Kenya Union of Journalists, said that they will be waiting with glee for the political lifeline of Moses Kuria to come to an end, to write his political obituary, because the media will outlive the CS of Trade, Moses Kuria. And the Nation Media Group calling for an immediate apology from Cabinet Secretary Moses Kuria, and saying that he should point out the things that he has an issue with from the reporting that he seemingly has a problem with, and pursue the channels, the legal channels through the Media Council, Complaints Committee, as well as the public editor at the Nation Media Group, to have this dealt with legally and in a proper manner, and not have those unpalatable comments on air coming from online and on air coming from a CS. Well, let me ask a quick run of opinions from my panelists. I'll start with Nerima. She was nodding her head. I don't know if she was agreeing with what I was saying, or with CS Moses Kuria. Highly unlikely the latter, but you could start and just tell us what you think from your vantage point.
Well, thank you, Mark. I feel that his reaction is not something that's new. We're very used to Moses Kuria saying very nonsensical things, and even sharing on his media platform. We even saw this as early as 2017 with the whole case with Msando and how he dealt with it and how he handled it. Till to date, we have never had even a public apology, especially to his wife, and so it's not surprising to me that he would say something like this. But Kenya is an interesting country, especially when you look at the political nature. When you want to drive something across as a politician, there are two ways that we do it. Politicians make sure that they say whatever they want to say in Kiswahili. It's never in English. And then they make sure that they insult women. They make sure that they find a way, a gender normative to utilize. So you start calling people Malaya. That is a way of making you feel the pain of it, because we're a country that doesn't respect women. So even for politicians such as he to do that, and now not only is he leading a constituency, it's an entire country. I mean, this guy goes and represents our country. He sometimes is the face of the president and a nation. Blurting out things like this, it's uncalled for. So I agree with a lot of the statements that have been made. They should have even been more firmer than that. Yeah. Technically, as of now, it's surprising that he hasn't been sued by now on several occasions. And the kind of position that he holds, it's something that he should even step down, because how are you impacting people's businesses and then affecting people by the things that you say? And a lot of the things that you say, it has no basis. We don't even know why he's so angry. Right. We have no idea why he's so furious, but he makes sure that he comes out to this fury, and it acts like a child. It's like a child.
Right, and there's something that is kind of changed. First of all, his tweet still stands, the one that he did 11:08 p.m. last night. But he has tweeted in the last 2 days saying that the brown envelope journalism is a national disaster in Kenya. Tuambiane ukweli. Tuambiane ukweli. Seemingly changing the narrative now to look as if he's pointing out a vice in our newsrooms. Does that in any way even justify what he said?
He's hiding. Sorry, is it my turn?
Yes, this is. I'm not cockeyed. I'm just looking direct. Yes, go ahead.
Sorry. Thank you. I think for me, I feel like he's been trying to pay people to say the things that he wants them to say, and he's in this timing because of that. The thinking that he can pay anyone to say what he wants them to say. Yeah. He's not happy that people are saying anything differing what he would want them to say. Mm-hmm. So he's, like Nerima said, we don't even know why he's angry. And regardless of the reason of why he's angry, this is not the language he should be using. Yeah. I mean, there are other ways to channel your frustrations. There's other ways you need to talk to whoever you need to talk to address the things that are grieving you. So it is uncalled for. I think, like Nerima said, it is absolutely childish, because name calling and declaring things by the street is not the way to go about it. He's leading this country. He's the face of our country. Yeah, he needs to speak in a way that is befitting of his role, and not just throwing remarks around as if he's a village elder that knows nothing better. Right. We could forgive him if he knew nothing better, but because of, like you said, the previous experiences we've had, I think sadly there are no consequences to these things. So Kenya as a country, we take these things. Yeah. We think they're funny, we laugh about them, there are no consequences whatsoever. We emboldened them. And I was wondering even if it was a woman who had said that,
It was in a different story.
Yeah, she would be in some cell waiting for her lawyers to come and, you know, give her some peace and allow her to go home to her family.
Right.
So there's a way that we have allowed and cultured, as we have enabled this culture, that someone like Moses Kuria feels he can just say what he wants to say and nothing will happen. 5 statements have been made. Nobody has sued him yet. No other leader has even called him out on that language. And he's likely to say something else again on Twitter or even to the media.